Good afternoon. I greet you all. I welcome you to this warm family that is the family of learners in leadership, servant leadership in particular. Today, I want to share what I call my leadership story. And I believe that every one of us has what is called the leadership story. Look at my story like this. I've been involved in community development work for more than 30 years. And by community development work, I establish groups, cooperative groups, communities of interest groups, communities of practice group, communities, cooperative societies among rural people in Nigeria. And then over time, I discovered that as I was establishing these groups, forming these groups in these rural places, the burden of those groups were piling on me. And I kept on being pressured. A little thing will happen, I'm the one to be called. A little that will happen, I'm the one to be called. A little this will happen, I'm the one to be called. And then I kept on being bothered. Is there something I'm not doing right? Is there something I'm not doing right? How can I be under this pressure that is even hindering me from doing more, going forward, but rather to keep on solving problems of what I had done in the past? So I found myself in this difficult stress, which I know many leaders find themselves with a good intention, quite all right, but something gets wrong along the line. So I found myself into this difficult, the pressure of the finances, the pressure of management, the pressure of governance, the pressure of solutions, having to provide solutions, the pressure, I mean, all round pressure of these groups were piling on me. And then I decided that I was going to give myself to a research. I was going to find out, am I the problem? Because my mind started telling me that it is the communities that are the problem. I started finding for that they are not smart in learning, they are not smart in innovation, they are not smart in self problem solving. I mean, I started beginning to think that the problem was there instead of in me. And that is why one of the ways you can caption this story is that sometimes you are the problem as a leader. So I realize that many a times, sometimes as a leader, as the number one person in the position of the number two, you are the problem. But it is difficult to come to that point of realization. And that is why, even if there is training, even if there is induction, we send the workers to go for such, and then we believe they are the problem. So I found myself there. So I went into a research, investigation, asking myself hard questions. And then this research led me, it actually led me into having to come out with a solution. Now, I didn't know the solution was going to be I needed to change, but I went into a research. I continued the research. I continued asking questions. Continued asking questions from the community. I continued asking questions from within me. So I kept on. And then I decided I was going to study, investigative study. I went into books, I interviewed people who have been in this kind of assignment that I found myself. I mean, I discussed a lot. Then I heard of a program. It was a master's degree program. And then, in order for me to have a wider cycle of research for researching, I enrolled into that into that program. And then I went on. Then eventually, I was able to come out with research questions that faced, that targeted me. And that is, I needed to be the one to change. So I went into my style, the things I was doing, how I was giving birth to this community, to these groups, how I was establishing or not establishing leadership, how I was sharing or not sharing power, how I was creating ownership of the communities among the people, among the rural villages, of the groups, among the people. I mean, I went into all these kind of questions. So I looked at governance, I looked at the issue of self-propagation, I looked at the issue of self-leading, self-reliance, or independent thoughts. I looked at the issue of management. I looked at the issue of finance generation by self and not external support mainly. I looked at those things. So I discovered that I was the problem. So, and the answers to those questions is what actually landed me and gave me a master's degree in organizational leadership. So I used myself, I looked inward, I came out with research questions, I came out with solutions, and today I'm modeling in the path of servant leadership, where people are your main objectives. Your vision is in people, for people. And so I got to that point that I accepted I was a problem. Number two, I accepted I needed to change. I didn't allow ego hinder me from changing, from admitting that I was a problem, and then from changing. And today, I am one of the stress-free leaders. When I say stress-free, I don't mean I do not work anymore, but the work I do is shared. The vision is now shared. The benefit as well is shared. So the groups are thriving. Yes, I'm still more experienced. I do still do training, I still do sharing, I still do research, but I tell you practically that the pressure is not there again. I'll enjoy leadership. I face the work of leadership inspired. When I'm coming back home, I'm coming back fulfilled. And that is the story. So I put across to you this day, what is your own leadership story? Can you look inward? Because that is the beginning of our coaching in servant leadership. When I say I'm a coach, I actually am performing a surgery of your leadership style to see what to remove or what to plant in. So that is how I was bettered into modeling the lifestyle of servant leader and then a coach. So I invite you to come together with your leadership story. You may possibly not have thought about it in the way I am talking about it now, but I give you a food for thought. I give you opportunity for reflection. I give you opportunity to ponder. I give you opportunity to look inward and ask yourself hard questions, and the answers will come as from within you, because your inside of any man is always bigger than his outside. Thank you very much. I value your response to this program. I honor you. I have regard that as I can change, this program will change you, and the organization will change, and society will change. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Mr. Daniel Dakuwumani. I am the president of Darona Servant Leadership Institute. I am your coach and facilitator. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.